The continued rise of New Zealand MMA reaches a new high point on Sunday. 4 fighters from Auckland City's kickboxing gym will compete at UFC 253 in Abu Dhabi, headlined by world champion Israel Adesanya defending his title. The reigning New Zealand Sportsman of the Year will be challenged by another undefeated fighter, Brazil's Paulo Costa. But as Clay Wilson reports, Adesanya heads into the battle with plenty of backup.
Speed versus size and precision versus power. However you look at it, the level of anticipation is high for Israel Adesanya's UFC title defence against the man they call the Eraser. While many, including UFC boss Dana White, believe the fight will be an epic, the Kiwi star expects one-way traffic.
People say it's the fight of the year, like Dana White said, but that's only if he's tough enough to actually take a beating from me for 5 rounds. But I just don't think his gas tank's going to hold up. But I'm not downplaying the stakes. I feel like for my legacy, it's just the look of it. Like I've said, people are still fooled by muscle.
Also in the spotlight is the undefeated pro records of both athletes. But for Adesanya, keeping that 0 next to his name isn't a motivating factor.
That's like the same thing with the whole title. Like I've said since the jump, that the title is just a fancy tiara. I just get to grab it along the way on my journey to greatness. So same thing with the being undefeated. It's never really been a thing like, oh, I've got to protect it and keep it and it's my precious.
One thing the Nigerian-born Kiwi does undoubtedly care deeply about is his teammates. Kai Carter-France, Brad Riddell and Shane Young will also represent City kickboxing on Sunday. Ranked 7th in the flyweight division, Carter-France says having a 12-strong contingent from the overachieving Auckland gym on Fight Island is a huge plus.
It definitely makes it a lot more comfortable. Just you're so familiar with these faces that you see day in, day out at the gym, and that's going to make all the difference come fight night, being backstage, blasting some Kiwi music, some 660 or some Poirier in the back, and then coming out to the cage.
The fighter of Māori descent says it means everything to represent Aotearoa and his culture on the world stage.
This is embedded in me, this is in my blood. My ancestors, my tupuna would have been doing this, 100 years ago, fighting for land, and I'm just a modern day version of that. That's what I channel when I fight, and it's a feeling, and it's the wairo, and it's the mana that you take with you, and I feel like that's what we embody at City Kickboxing.
That pride drives an intense dedication, which has been much needed in the lead up to the event. Among other hurdles, the international TV market means the Kiwi contingent will be fighting between 4 and 7 in the morning. But that hasn't been a worry for Riddell.
It's actually pretty easy. You'd be surprised. Like, your body adjusts pretty quick, and a lot of it is mentality. This is just business week. Nothing else matters except getting the W. So you just do whatever you have to.
It's an attitude which, along with their renowned team-first focus, has been key in the gym's success. And Shane Young, returning to action after a roller coaster 18 months out, says they're not done yet.
I hope one day to have 8 fighters all on the same card in New Zealand or Australia and just, basically run the whole show based around City Kickboxing, because I know we've got the potential. There's so many dudes in our ranks that could just slay it right now.
The immediate focus, though, is on performing on Sunday. Another member of City Kickboxing's UFC stable, Dan Hooker, is confident in his teammates, especially the skill set of their biggest star, Adesanya.
It is massive. It's got doors out back, it's got down the hallway. His arsenal is huge. And when you compare the two, it's difficult for me to see this even being a competitive matchup.
Israel Adesanya couldn't agree more. And he remains amused rather than offended by critics who say otherwise.
They're lucky I like the whole hype thing, because I've lived off that through dance. I love hype, especially when the crowd goes crazy, and I love hype. I've been fighting for how long in this company? So short. And I'm the champion now, and I've defended my belt twice, and apparently I'm still all hype.
That hype train pulls into town yet again on Sunday. For Checkpoint, Clay Wilson.